Hey everybody, welcome back to the Prom Gown Sew Along 2017. In this episode, what I'm going to do is show you the final adjustments I made on Abby's muslin, and I'm going to show you how to transfer those to the pattern. I will tell you that it took me a few times to get it to fit. So the way fitting normally works is you make your fit muslin, you try it on, you make some changes, make a second muslin, try it on, and then you may need to fine tune. So I've already done the fine tuning, and now it's time for the final pattern. And I saved all of the adjustments on the muslin. They're all pinned in. I'm going to show you how to transfer those to your actual pattern. And you can see here, what I did was I traced a neat copy of all my pieces because it was getting a little hairy with all the things I did to it before. So that's why I just want to reiterate, if anybody needs help fitting their bodice, you can please contact me. You can make a comment at the bottom of the video, or if you go to J Stern Designs, you can, post a feedback or a comment and I can actually email you. So don't be afraid to contact me if you're having trouble fitting your pattern, because it's hard to fit everything into these videos. So I'm only showing you the final fitting adjustments from Abby's muslin. I'm going to show you how to transfer those. Now, if you are doing your first muslin, the way I'm transferring the fit adjustments to the pattern would work. So the techniques you're going to use regardless of which fitting you're on. But I just want you to know that I'm on the final fitting for this, and I'm going to show you how to do it. If you look at this side, I've had to pin out about 1/2 inch of fullness in the side front piece. But if you look at the opposite side, I had to pin out almost 1.25 inches. Okay, so that's how I'm gonna actually fit this for her. I'm gonna make her 2 different side fronts. And actually, having my daughter Abby and speaking to her pediatrician along the way, it's very common to have bust sizes that are different. So like you could have a bust size where one size is a cup or more bigger or smaller than the other one. And this style of princess seam is very easy to accommodate that. The first thing I'm going to do, you can see I've pinned in everything I need to change. So I want to take those pins out. So I'm going to use a Sharpie marker, a Choco line or something to mark along my pins so I can take the pins out. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go along my pins and I'm just going to make a guideline for myself. Okay, and you can see this pen that I drew right here. Okay, she wants to have the strap be not as wide. So my new cut edge, like she wants me to take it in this much. So when I was talking about drawing on your muslin when the person is wearing it, this would be an example of something I did here. So you can see this pen mark is my indication that I want to take in the strap a whole 1/2 inch up at the top because she wants them to be a little bit narrower. So I'm just going to do that like that for now. Okay, and then I'm going to flip it over and do the other side. Okay, because I want to be able to take this whole thing apart. All right, and you can see the way I'm drawing, I'm changing where the fullness is on her, because all of this fullness up here, which would be up almost like on the top of her bust, she doesn't need that room. Where she needs it is in here. Okay, so that's actually changing, sort of where the cup is. All right, so that's kind of interesting. I'm also going to make it a note that I need to take out the width of this. All right, so now I've got that all marked. So if you just look at the rest, I made no adjustments here. So the back was actually fine. So I don't need to worry about anything in the back of my pattern. So basically now I'm going to take these pins out. The only seam I really need to take apart is the princess seam. I can leave the rest attached because I'm not making any adjustments there. I drew in the amount I need to take out this way horizontally through the side front piece. The side front is longer through the curve than the center front piece. And so what you do is you actually ease in the curved portion into your center front. And during the first fitting with Abby, I actually made more room there. And the way you would make more room in a princess seam is you would actually slash through and pleat that open. Okay, and you can also slash through and pleat this open on both sides. So as it turned out, the amount I added at the side front was a little bit too much. That's why I'm going to be taking some of it back out. But just know, to do the princess seam full bust adjustment, it's very easy. You just slash through the apex and open it up. All right, so let me just show you my pattern pieces for a second before we get going with the muslin. All right, so if you're unsure about how to mark that extra fullness on the side piece, you can see here I've got my notches. So on my side front piece, this is how much ease there is that I need to fit into this amount of space. And the way you mark that, if you're not working with a princess seam pattern and you drafted it from a bust start, what you do is you put your pieces together. I'm just going to line up my bottom edges here. You know, and you walk the pattern up until you get to the base of the curve on the center front, and you make a notch. So see, I've got my notch. My two notches are right in there that line up. From the top, it's approximately 3 inches. So you start where the base of the armhole starts, and then you measure down approximately 3 inches and you draw your second notch. Okay, so you can see I've got my notches. And then if you were to measure, this space is 1, 2, 3, 4, like 5.5 inches. This one is 6.5. So this is actually an inch longer than this. So let's just take a look at the muslin. So looking at the muslin, I'm actually going to have to take out a 1/2 inch of that. So there was just a little bit too much fullness on that side front piece. So to fix that, and of course, look at, I've got these, I chose the side that I didn't do, so I apologize that they're opposite sides. But basically, to get rid of this extra, I'm going to draw my line like this, and I'm actually going to measure up the 1/2 inch like this, draw a wedge shape, okay, and then to get rid of this extra, I'm just going to slide this up like this. Okay, so now I'm going to tape this in place, and I'm getting rid of that extra that we don't need between those notches. All right, so see, now I've got that little bit less through there, and that corresponds to here where I took that out. I just want to know, if you're working with your pattern and you're making fit adjustments, it's better to work on the side of the body that your pattern pieces are facing. The reason why I'm doing the opposite in this case is because this is the one that is the larger bust size, so I have to make a smaller adjustment. So that's why I'm working with this size, and then I'll work off of this one to fix the other one. So just, I apologize that they're backwards, like they're opposite, mirror imaging each other. Now the next thing is, see how, I'm going to make this darker so you can see it. I'm going to use red. This is what I need to take in to get the shape I need for her bust. It's going to look like this. Okay, so you can see the original shape looks like this. We're going to transfer this on. And the way I'm actually going to do it is, I'm going to make this really dark. And then I'm going to put my pattern piece right on top. I'm going to line it up. Like this, so the edges are matching. And I'm just going to trace that through. because I already took out this wedge, I'm gonna do to here and then the bottom and work up. Okay, so I'm gonna work above where I made the adjustment to where the adjustment is. So I'm gonna come down, you know, to where the adjustment is. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna line up my bottom. All right, so I'm just lining up the original edge of the pattern with the fabric from underneath, and I'm just tracing it through. That way I don't have to worry about measuring. Okay, so see how easy that was for me to just see what to do. And then the cool thing is, where I made this adjustment, that was in the original seam. So as you can see, if I bring this over here, I didn't change that. That's the original seam. So I just blend that back. So what I'm going to do is use my French curve and just, you know, make that look nice and curvy. And then I'll darken this line. Okay, so that's going to be the new outside shape. Let me just trace through the original other seam. Hold on. All right, so I took this in and I traced this on. Okay, now remember this traced line is my sewing line, so I have to adjust my seam allowance. So I'm just going to do a 1/2 inch. All right, so that's my new adjusted side front. Now let's do the same thing to the center front. All right, so here is my pattern and here is my muslin. Again, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make it really dark with my red Sharpie. I'm going to lay this sideways because it's a long pattern piece. All right, so let's line this up. Everything lines up really nicely. Put a pattern weight on it so it doesn't slide. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is just transfer that right to here. I'm going to trace it right through. I'm going to use my ruler up at the top because this is straight. All right, so there's my new line. Let's add my new seam allowance in. See here, I didn't make a change because I don't have to add it, but then I have to start adding it back over here. See? Okay, so what I'm going to do here is, this is where she wanted her strap to be more narrow. So actually, I'm going to curve this through like this. So see how I'm crossing here? And this is my, I know this is a little bit confusing, but she wanted her edge to be like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to have the neckline merge into the strap and make it skinnier. So my seam allowance actually on the strap is going to be here. So let me just, okay, so I'm going to just marry these two together because she wants a skinnier strap. And then I'll just sort of get this to agree here. All right, so that's going to be the shape. Let me just erase all my, so you can see. All right, because I'm taking in the strap here, I just made the corrections fit. So it's like this. Okay, so now see, this strap is only going to be 1 inch wide instead of that wider strap, because when I have my seam allowances already here. Let me just draw my seam allowance on this side so you can see. All right, so see, my strap is only going to be 1 inch now. Let me just trim the extra off. All right, so there's my new shape. The back I didn't have to adjust, but I am gonna have to adjust the strap. We're gonna take it off of the inside edge because that's where I took it off over here because we wanna make sure they continue to sew together nicely. And I'm gonna line up the front with the back. This is my back. I'm just going to take my ruler and I'm going to draw the line so it matches. And then I'm down here on my center back, I'm just gonna ease it back in. So I'm just gonna do that. Okay, so my new back edge is going to be like this. Okay, so it now matches, the straps now match widthwise. Okay, so that's how you transfer changes to your pattern. In the next episode, I'm going to show you how to cut out your pieces. And we're just going to work with the bodice for now. The skirt is going to be very easy, and of course if you want a full ball gown skirt, you can add a full ball gown skirt to this. Abby just wants a sort of flowy straight skirt that has a little fullness at the hem, but it's fitted at the waist, so that's what I'm going to show you how to do in this sew along. But certainly you could add any sort of skirt style you like to the top of this, you know, to the top of this dress. If you have any questions about the fitting adjustments, please either post them below or visit my blog at J Stern Designs and leave a comment there. I hope you guys are having a great day, and I will see you soon to continue on with this dress.